Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with the part 3 of my alphabetical favorite eyeshadow series. So if you haven't been catching up on the last couple of videos that I've been posting, I've been doing this thing on my channel where I share with you my favorite eyeshadow between A to Z. So today we have made it up to M, and I'm going to go through M to S. So those are the eyeshadows that I'm going to start or go through today. That is 7 eyeshadows. So we have a few things to talk about. As normal, if there is any runner-ups for each letter, I'm going to share those with you today, but I'm only going to swatch out the top favorite shadows. So yeah, I'm going to jump straight into it. But before I do so, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So like I said, we have made it up to M. So we're going to start off with the letter M. And the eyeshadow that I have first actually do have a runner-up. So we're going to talk about that shadow first. And that is this shadow from Cleona called Mural. It is a cult favorite. Lots of people love this one, and so do I. This is one of their electric monochromes. And as you can see, it has this vibrant, kind of cool-toned green base with an orange shift straight on that goes into like a gold and then a warm grass green. It is such a unique shadow. It's very, very shiny, very shifty, very electric, hence the name or hence the category. And it's just a really beautiful eyeshadow. I love this one quite a bit. And it was very close to being the winner for M, but the shadow I'm going to talk about next is slightly more exciting to me and slightly more of a favorite. So yeah, this is definitely a shadow that I love and I reach for quite a bit, and it has that kind of vibrancy but still like softness that I like. I like ethereal shadows but still colorful shadows, which this one is. So yeah, a runner-up right here, but let's move on to the actual winner for M. And the winner for M is this shadow right here, which is the shade Mystic. And this one comes from Shine by SD, and it's one of the Halo Horizon shadows. I do believe these original Halo Horizons have been discontinued and they've replaced them with some new ones. So I don't know if this shade is still available, and I don't know if like this type of formula is still available or what the new formula is like. But I'm really, really happy to have picked this one up because again, that is my favorite shadow for M. So this is a beautiful shadow. You can see the swatch right here. It's a very shiny shadow, and I don't know if you can pick it up right there, but it does have some holographic shifts running through it. So like I said, it's not like the most shifty shadow. This is like a cool kind of cool taupey gold kind of base with more of a white gold kind of shift running through it in collaboration with those holographic sparkles, but also some more kind of warmer gold sparkles too. It's super stunning. It's a very, very beautiful everyday kind of eyeshadow. I would say I would probably pair this one with more cool tone shadows, but it still has that warmness running through it. And that is one thing that I love about Shine by SD shadows. They are just very dimensional, and they just have so many like multicolored sparkles running through them, and this one is no exception. Again, it also has that kind of holographicness to it, which is just so unique, and I can stare at this shadow all day because it's just so pretty. And I feel like the holographic shadow, it's like the best formula that I've tried for holographic shadows. And it almost looks like a pressed glitter, but it's not. It's an eyeshadow, it's not a pressed glitter. It's just very, very sparkly, and I absolutely adore this shadow right here. So that is the winner for M. So for N, we also have a runner-up, and that is this shadow right here. This is actually one that I worked on in my Panos eyeshadows earlier this year. This is the shade Nectarine from the Pastel Roses. It has this warm kind of orange base, as you can see right there, with a green and pink shift. So it has a shift that I've seen a couple times in different shadows, which is this electric green into like a vibrant pink shift. This one has that shift too, and it has more of a sheer kind of wet formula to it. So you have to build it up quite a bit for full impact, but it also means that this shadow is quite versatile because you can layer it on top of other things, but you can also kind of build it up if you want to. And the shift is just very unique. You can layer this one with almost any shadow. You can definitely change the tone of this eyeshadow depending on what you pair it with. So you can make it more cool tone as well if you pair it with something more cool tone underneath. And it's just, again, a very versatile shadow. And I do really love this one, but I do think I love the winner a little bit more, which is why this one here is the runner-up. And I just realized now that the winner for this category also comes from Shine by SD. This is one of their Earthborn collection shadows, which was in collaboration with Seeking Shifts. And this is the shade Nacre. Nacre. I don't know. N-A-C-R-E. Nacre. I don't know. This shadow is a beautiful iridescent. So you could have only seen it in white, but You can see here on my hand, it looks like a very warm, kind of almost yellow gold shift running straight through. But if you look at the footage, it's a super unique shadow because first of all, again, it has those multicolored sparkles to it. So it has like some green, some blue, some yellow kind of sparkles, and almost I think maybe some orange sparkles too running through that shadow in the first shift. But then at an angle, it shifts into this really cool toned, taupey, almost like antique kind of green shift, but it's still very cool toned with more kind of purple and blue sparkles. And again, it's just so pretty. I love that this one has so dimensional with the sparkles that is through it, and also it has that warm to cool shift, but it doesn't necessarily go into like a blue, because I've seen like iridescent yellowy greens like this one before. Like again, straight on it might look like very repetitive to other things, but I've seen that shadow so many times, but it usually goes into like a blue and then a pink and purple or those kind of things. But this one just goes in to a cool tone neutral, and it's just so unique, and I absolutely love this one. You can pair it on top of other things because it is an iridescent. You can wear it on its own in the corner, all over the lid, whatever you want to do with it. It's a very versatile shadow, and again, it is one of my favorite shadows in my collection because it is the winner for the letter N. So the next couple of letters I only have the one winner. I don't have any runner-up for the next couple of shadows that I'm going to talk about, but let's move on to O next. O comes from Cleona, and actually again, a couple that I have following now is going to also be Cleona, so we're going to have a little bit of a roll there with them. But this is the shadow right here, and you might already know what it is, but this is the shadow Opulent, which is one of their glitter multichromes. You can see it right there. This is such a unique shadow. It has like a cool toned purpley mauve base, which is very unique, that has like so many kind of slight different shifts. It's almost like a neutral shadow, but it has like a little bit of color to the shift. So it goes into like a muted gold orange kind of shift running through it straight on to like a slight green, turquoise, blue, purple shift, but all of them are more neutral. And I think because it does have that base, like that cool tone base, but then warm shift running through it. It's a very versatile shadow because you can wear it with warm tones, cool tones. You can pair it on again on top of other things, and it can slightly alter the tone of it. But I just love this one with like neutral kind of matte, and this one all over the lid as a showstopper, and it's just such an amazing shadow. It's so unique. I don't have anything like it in my collection, and that is why this one is a winner. Again, I don't have any runner-up for O because I knew this one was going to win. I looked through what else I have for the letter O, and nothing really compared to it. I mean, I did swatch out a couple of things, but when I looked at it, I was just like, nothing else compares. So yeah, O is for Opulent, and that is going to be my favorite shadow for that letter. So we're moving on to P, and like I said, we also have another Cleona eyeshadow for P, and that is this shadow right here called Palace. This is one of their pearlescent multichromes, which is more of a kind of softer formula. But this one, even though it's more like of a softer shade, it has a punch when it comes to the shifts. So this one has like a pink to a peach kind of shift straight on, and that's kind of what you see in the pan as well. But then if you look at this like off the light, so with the shift, it goes into a vibrant green to turquoise to kind of like bluish purple as well at a harsh angle, and it's a very, very, again, shifty shadow. I absolutely love this one because it looks very soft and almost natural, like neutral kind of look. It's not like neutral because it's pink, but it's just like the formula is so like pearlescent. Like it's supposed to be quite a, you know, soft kind of glam, I guess, eyeshadow, which it definitely is. But then with that bright shift, it's like takes you off guard. It is so wearable, but it still has that colorful kind of shift to it without being out there. And I absolutely love this shadow. It's so good. I have other shadows with similar shifts, but it's just something with the formula together with that shift that makes this one so unique and just so pretty to wear. I absolutely love this shadow, and I wear it all the time. I have worn this to like weddings as a wedding guest and stuff before, and it's just the perfect kind of shadow for those things like that because it is that softness, but it does still kind of stick out, and it brings out my personality because I do love multichromes. I do love colorful shadows. So even though it is like that kind of soft look, it just does bring in like a little bit of my personality into it. So that's why I love this eyeshadow so much, and that is it's swatched out compared to all of the other shades. So next up from P we have Q, and that is another Cliona eyeshadow. This one is the shade Quest, which is one of their electric multichromes. For Q, I really didn't have that many options, but you can see it right there. It has kind of like a sky blue base that has a warm purple shift straight on that goes into like a peach, into green, turquoise, into like that blue. It is very, very shifty, very pretty. It is that electric formula, which is known to have those really unique shifts to them. And this one is no exception. Maybe it's not like the color that I would personally reach for the most, but again, I had limited options with Q because I really don't have that many eyeshadows with Q, which makes sense. But it's just something about the shift, and I do love that kind of warm purple running through it. It does have more of a cool tone base, which you might even be able to see there on camera. But yeah, it's just a really, really pretty shadow, and I do love that electric formula. Again, this one probably isn't like an absolute favorite, and this one could probably have been beaten out by a lot of the runner-ups in this kind of series. But again, I used to have to pick one for each letter, and I'm talking about this one like I don't like it. I do still like this eyeshadow, but I wouldn't consider this a favorite, which is why I'm kind of disclaiming it. But yeah, it's a pretty shadow, and it's my favorite for Q, so that is the shade Quest from Cliona. So next up we have the final Cliona eyeshadow, and again it's one without any runner-ups, and that is for R, and we have the shade Royalty, which is another purple, as you can see. This is one of their vibrant multichromes, so you can see it right there. And this one is definitely an interesting one. For the base, this one has more of a grape kind of purple base. It's more of a warm grape purple, which is the type of purples that I love. Then straight on, it has more of a kind of green, goldy kind of shift running through. It's not too gold, but it's like has that warmness to it. It's like a green sparkle. That goes into like a turquoise and then a blue and a bit more of a cool tone kind of shift. But overall, this one is definitely a warmer tone purple, which is why I love this one. I absolutely adore the shadow. I have worn this one on my birthday before. I have worn it so many times. It's just such a unique shadow. I say that this is probably one of my most like favorite Cliona eyeshadows that is still very underrated. I don't feel like this one gets as much hype. I know they released the shade Regal, which is one of the glitter vibrant multichromes. This is the vibrant multichrome, and when that came out, I feel like that one got so much hype, but I don't like that one nearly as much because that is more cool tone purple, and I just prefer this shade so much, and I always saw it that way. And this is just a shadow that I adore. I feel like this is me in a purple, and you can see again, if you look at the difference in base there, this is definitely more up my alley, versus this one, which is more cool toned. And yeah, I adore this shadow so much. It is so shifty. I remember one time wearing this one, and I went into like a bathroom at like a place I was at, and because of the lighting in there, I just saw my shadow so different. It looked like vibrant kind of green turquoise, and I was like, whoa, I wasn't wearing green turquoise, was I? And it was this shadow right here, and even though it looks like so purple, it was just like in the lighting it looked green. And it was just amazing to me, and that's kind of why I love multichromes. And I have so many fond memories for this shadow. So again, for R, it was going to be a clear winner, and that was Royalty from Cliona. So we have come to the last letter for this video, which is going to be S, and I have one runner-up for this category too, and that is the shadow here called Sweetie Sunbeam, which is from Divina. This is a really unique shadow. It has like a warm kind of bronzy brownness to it, but I think the base is actually a bit more cool toned than that. But it does have that kind of warm bronzy base running through it. And then on top of that, it has a beautiful goldeny kind of sparkle to it. It's not too intense, but it's still a very clear sparkly shift, but it doesn't overpower the base color. Then at an angle, that kind of golden shift goes into more of a cool toned shift, which is again a more of a unique kind of shift. I love those warm to cool tone shifts where they're not so colorful, they're more neutral, more kind of everyday, because those are more everyday type of multichromes or duochromes, and this one is in that family. So it's a very unique shadow. You can see that it's hasn't gotten so much use, but it's because this shadow is very, very new to me. I got it end of last year. So I love this shadow a lot, and I have been enjoying it when I've been reaching for it. But again, it is the runner-up. I do have a clear favorite again for this letter. Actually, I do have two winners, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But yeah, that is the runner-up for us. Let's move on to the shadows that have actually won. And I'm not going to hold them up because there's two shadows, but we have the two shadows right here. These two are exact dupes of each other, which is why I'm picking both of them, and they all both start with the letter S as well. So we have the shade Starburst from Terra Moons and Starlight from the Pastel Roses, and I actually swatched them out just so you can see the comparisons. So up here on this half you have Terra Moons Starburst, yes, and on this half you have the Pastel Roses Starlight. So I mean, you can see, you can even tell like where one starts and the other begins. Not really, but yeah, this shadow is so pretty. I absolutely love this one. It has like a mauve base that goes into like a blue purple kind of shift, and then straight on it has more of a green warm sparkles running through it, and it's just again so unique. I absolutely love these type of shadows that has that cool and warm again mixed, and a green shift is something that I'm always going to love. Plus it does have that kind of warmer purpley kind of base as well. So that is this last shadow. That is the last one I'm going to talk about. And again, there you have my 7 shadows for this video. Again, you can see a bit of a theme running through it. These are just eyeshadows that I absolutely love, and yeah, this one is 2, but I wanted to include both. When it comes to formula, I probably do prefer the Terra Moons just for reference, but one of them might be more easily accessible for, you know, one of you. Like the Pastel Roses is really good if you live in the UK, and Terra Moons is better if you live in the US, for example. So I wanted to share both of them because they are so close. But again, that is going to be it for today's video. I'm going to have the last installment up for this series tomorrow. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys!